Hi guys, this is Andres, and today we have a very interesting topic for all those who have their businesses. So, for founders, entrepreneurs, or those who are wishing to start their business soon. Today we'll be looking and analyzing Y Combinator startup request for this summer. Yeah, as you might know, Y Combinator publishes a document called Request for Startups. Basically, it's a wish list. They are telling the world what kind of companies they want to fund next. And of course, most people who read it are founders hoping to get into YC. But that is not why I am going to read it today. Yeah. I'm reading it because Y Combinator has funded Airbnb, Stripe, Dropbox, Coinbase, and OpenAI. They talk to thousands of founders every year, and they've seen every major technology wave since the early 2000s. When they say they want something built, it almost always means they have already seen early evidence that it is becoming real. That makes this document one of the best free signals available about where the economy is actually moving, where the tech is actually moving, and furthermore, where the business in general, where it might be moving soon. Yeah. This document is published like twice a year, but now it gets published more often. And anyone willing to read it can do so. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. Yeah, and now, like, the problem why a lot of people actually do not consider Y Combinator docs as something important to, like, real businesses. Yeah. They might think this is something for startups, yeah. Only, but it can sound true to a certain extent, because like 99% of what they want is not buildable by most people. Yeah, some of it, like, let's get real. Yeah, some of it requires hundreds of millions in funding. Some of it requires PhDs and government contracts. Yeah, some of it is like a civilization project, not a startup. So in this video, we are going to do it a bit differently. We are going to read the summer 2026 batch, but not as a founder hoping to get funded. Yeah, but as a business person, asking one question, just one. What does this document actually tell us about where real opportunities exist for businesses that need to generate revenue, not raise a new investment round? Okay, so if you are a real business person, not necessarily like a founder, maybe marketing, maybe product manager, maybe project manager, yeah, it is going to be very, very interesting for you. I hope so. Yeah. I'm going to go through like the historic evolution of this document quickly. Yeah, and then we'll select the like important bits of this document, and we'll spend most of the time on those entries that are genuinely meaningful. I'll try to go like really deep on what each one is really saying, and what a real business can extract from it. Yeah, so yeah, this is what our today's stream is gonna be about. Yeah, so let's just let me just open my kinda text presentation. Yeah, and we will move with it. Yeah, Okay, so this is the plan of the video for today. I can just make it, yeah, like this. So yeah, first of all, what is a request for startup, how it looks like? Yeah, you can see it on Y Combinator website. Now it looks like this, with a number of domains, areas, yeah, you can call it the way you want, and with explanations of like why they want startups from these areas and what kind of startups. Yeah, so you can see there is a lot of opportunities if you are like a startup person. Yeah, you can see like dynamic software interfaces, electronics, hardware supply chain, industrial capabilities in space, inference chips, and so a lot of interesting stuff. Let's go deeper. Yeah, but before that I wanted to to again point out just quickly, because this is important, like if you are a founder and you just opened this video and are wondering like why, like I have a, I don't know, a manufacturing business, or I am I have a like 10 laundries across the city. Yeah, why this might be interesting to me? Yeah, and this is a fair question. Obviously, because well, there is plenty of different trends reports, and you can ask AI to generate like thousands of various trends reports. Yeah, so but this is special. Yeah. So as I said, like Y Combinator is the place, like it's I don't know how to call it, a fund and accelerator where they fund startups and help them get like to the next point. Yeah, and why should we trust their judgment? Because Y Combinator, like it's not just a group of investors, sometimes successful, sometimes not. Yeah, they are like, first of all, very successful, and their track record of identifying what becomes real before it becomes obvious is probably, it might be the best in the world. Like when they say they want something, it means that they have already seen early evidence that this is like something becoming very important soon. Yeah, and that signal, if translated to the real world from venture capital, it might be useful like really for almost any kind of business. Yeah. Okay, just another quick like important thing, how YC request for startups changed across like the latest batches. Yeah, you can like see the previous startup requests here. Yeah, you can go like deep into that if you want. We are not going to do that now. Yeah, I am just bringing you the summary, and like the quick summary is that the following. In summer 2024 it was almost like half AI, half traditional, so it was mixed bets. Yeah, then in winter 2025 they went political. Yeah, it was like a lot of government software, manufacturing in the USA, public safety, and it was a bit strange, I must say. Yeah, then in spring 2025, they switched completely to AI. Yeah, and they started like they did an additional batch, like usually they do summer and then winter, but this time they did spring and then they did fall as well, so 4 batches in 1 year. Yeah, it was like agentic stuff, AI personal stuff, software built for agents as customers. Summer 2025, agents again. Every single item is agent related. Full stack AI companies, voice AI, AI personal assistant, blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay. Then spring 2026, grounded verticals, product management tools, AI agencies, government fraud detection, metal mills. Yeah, so it changes. Yeah, and now well, AI has stopped being a feature and started being the foundation, and hence items are about rebuilding entire industries, supply chains, and computing infrastructure from scratch. And this is important, and I'm going to elaborate on it further. Yeah, but this is very important, like that AI has stopped being a feature and it started being the foundation of the business. And the second idea also, just keep it in mind that the startup requests are about rebuilding entire industries and supply chains. And this is also important because it's a great shift from building something niche to like something fundamental, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so here is the full list of what Y Combinator wants this summer. It's very interesting. Yeah, there are 16 items. It's a lot. You can just take a look. It's like very exciting to me because like there are really various stuff, and if earlier batches they almost like were fully focused on SaaS stuff like software basically, but here, well, not like 100%, but mostly from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I haven't, or maybe I missed something. Yeah, but like right now it's very diverse. Yeah. But the thing with it is, well, there are plenty of items that require capital, infrastructure, or very specific expertise that like we should remove them from consideration for like any founder not already working inside the relevant industry at the senior level. Yeah. Yeah, just a couple of sentences what we are crossing out. Counter swarm defense. It requires government contracts, security clearances, and specialized hardware engineering. So, and the sales cycle alone, it's like years. Yeah, so you started only like it is a career you build inside the defense industry first, most likely. Yeah. So we are not going to consider it. Sorry. Yeah, then also electronics in space, inference chips for agent workflows, supply chain 2.0 for semiconductors, all three require deep chip design expertise and capital measured in the tens of millions before you have like anything to show. Yeah. The YC entry on Inference chip literally says if you are working at SpaceX or Nvidia and you've been spending time doing chip design, we would love to hear from you. Like this is the filter right there in the text. Yeah. So we are just deleting. Oops. Sorry. Electronics in Spain, in space, hardware, supply chain for semiconductors, inference chip, also something not realistic for most of us anyway, but it's okay. Then industrial capabilities in space. Billions of dollars in infrastructure required before any commercial activity. Yeah, this is not a startup, this is a civilization project. So unfortunately we are not going to like review it now. Yeah, AI native discovery engines. It requires lab infrastructure, domain expertise at PhD level, and a long horizon before commercial returns. So this is interesting as a trend, but irrelevant as a business to start unless you are already a research scientist with like institutional backing. Yeah. This is not that interesting to us right now. Then there is also dynamic software interfaces. Yeah, like it is a signal about where software delivery is going, but it's less like a product opportunity in itself, and maybe something you just need to understand if you're building software. So this is also not an interesting stuff for us, just to like explore it on its own. Yeah. Yeah, and also I think I forgot to cross something out. Yeah, hardware supply chain as well. It's not well, if you like it requires again very deep expertise and enormous amounts of capital, and this is like very specific. So if you are outside of this industry, like I don't see like if there is anything worth talking about it. Yeah, so we are left with no, I'm just going to delete it now. Okay. So we are left with this stuff: AI for low pesticide agriculture, AI native service companies, personalized medicine, company brain, SaaS challengers, software for agents, startups that want to sell to huge companies, and the AI operating system for companies. These 8 things, they are like, I'd say, well, I'd say they are really, really interesting and worth investigating and trying to get some insights about them. Yeah, so that's what we are going to explore now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now going to the items that actually matter. Like the general thing about all these items is that each of them is pointing at the same underlying shift. It's that AI has moved the bottleneck of economic activity upstream. For the last 30 years, the bottleneck was, can you build the software? Yeah, like, can you actually build it? Because it was like not that easy and rather expensive. You're building like not a small tool. Yeah, and now the bottleneck is different. It is, do you understand the domain deeply enough to deploy AI effectively in it? It means that technical ability is no longer the scarce resource. Domain knowledge, operational clarity, and the willingness to work in specific industries with specific constraints are now the scarce resources. That is actually good news for people who have spent years inside an industry and understand it like at a level a generalist engineer or some manager never will. So this is, if you are that kind of person, I have very good news for you. Yeah, and let me point to you again, like, the shift is that technical ability is no longer the scarce resource, but important thing is domain knowledge. And we are going to talk about it further, like, because it will repeat in many of our next insights. Yeah. So here we are going to talk about basically these three items that YC Combinator wants from us: SaaS challengers, AI native service companies, and software for agents. Yeah. If you go to Y Combinator request, you can just look at get to, there are so many of them. Yeah, there is a section by Jared Friedman on SaaS challengers. Yeah. And he's like YC partner and former CTO of Script. So yeah, and he's saying the SaaS model won because custom software was too expensive. A 5-person startup couldn't outbuild Salesforce. But AI has collapsed the cost of producing software by 100x, and that changes everything. The moat that once protected legacy SaaS, like millions of lines of code built over decades, is gone. And he goes further. The opportunity is not just to clone existing products cheaper. Yeah. You can build AI native from the ground up, bundle 10-point solutions into one suite, or build open source replacements for product that costs like $50K per seat. Yeah. And he specifically says, go after the products that seem invulnerable, like ERPs, industrial control systems, cheap design software, but the giant code bases that have been untouchable for decades. Yeah. And what's the argument behind this idea? Yeah, because it sounds a bit counter-intuitive. Yeah, maybe at first. Yeah. But here's the thing. Yeah. SaaS companies build moats not primarily from technology, but from three things: distribution, that is first to market, largest sales force; data, lock-in your data is in their system; switching costs, that is painful and expensive to live. Yeah, if you take Salesforce, they did not win because it had better CRM logic. Yeah, it won because it was first to cloud, built the biggest sales organization in enterprise software and made it incredibly painful to leave. The technology was a vehicle and the real mode was inertia. And now what AI disrupts? It disrupts the first step of that process. The cost of reaching feature parity on day one. Yeah. Because when it cost 50 engineers and 3-5 years to build something competitive, incumbents was safe. Yeah. When it costs one engineer and 3 months, well, it changes the game. Yeah. The barrier to market entry collapses. Incumbents remain protected by data and switching costs, but they are no longer protected by the raw difficulty of building. So that's the switch. And the market has already priced this in. Salesforce market cap compressed at some point by 50%. You probably seen that after Anthropic launched agentic AI plugins, a lot of SaaS, they just lost from 10 to 50% of their market cap. And when AI can do the work of multiple humans, basically you need fewer humans, and when you need fewer humans, you need fewer seats. This is quite killer of this system that existed for a long time and their business models. However, we see the potential for disruption, but also there is such quote from Saster: nobody is building a homegrown CRM in Replit to replace their Salesforce instance. Shipping a V1 is maybe version 1 is maybe 2% of the work. And of course legacy systems, they are stickier than the narrative suggests. And the opportunity is not to frontally attack entrenched platforms, it is in the white space. And actually Friedman points out at the real opportunity, and this is also very interesting. And he says the real opportunity is in vertical niches, where the incumbent is a large horizontal SaaS company that's never actually built for a specific industry. In every one of these categories, SaaS incumbents serve hundreds of industries with a single product. Which means they serve none of them particularly well. Say healthcare workflow software, construction project management, hospitality operations, legal practice management, industrial maintenance. And he argues that a vertical specific AI native challenger can outperform them on depth while matching them on cost. And the cost of building it has collapsed. The proof point might be Cursor, which went from 0 to 100 annual revenue just in 12 months. And a product with that trajectory would have required, 50, 100 engineers and a few years to build in, just 7 years ago maybe, and this cost structure of software, it genuinely collapsed. Because in this case, Cursor was built by 4 MIT students with a small team. Because this is crazy. Then the next thing, AI native service companies. There is an extract on those. This is actually potentially one of the most interesting items, I would say, because this is very down to earth, very realistic, and can be used for many businesses around the world. Yeah, so it's by Gustav Alstromer. Yeah, you can watch it there, but I'm just going to talk. Yeah. He's also been a YC partner, and he's been there for more than 10 years and previously led growth at Airbnb. So, just quoting him, historically, services became SaaS software. More recently, they became AI copilots. That's what more startups from 2023 to 2025 built. Tools that help people do their jobs. What we are excited about now is the next step. AI native companies that don't sell software, they sell the service. He specifically names insurance brokerage, accounting, tax and audit, compliance, healthcare administration. And why this is like, to me, this is the most important entry in the document for a real business audience. Well, let me just so why this is like really important. The size of the market. The global professional services market reached 6.3 trillion in 2025. For comparison, the global SaaS market is roughly only 300 billion. Well, not only, but just in comparison. The total spend on service is more than 20 times larger than the spend on software. Yeah, and like the historic arc he's using. Phase 1, like the professional service economy has gone through 3 phases. Phase 1, everything was people. Accounting firms, law firms, PR agencies, all revenue came from billable hours. The business scaled linearly with headcount. Phase 2, software ate the administrative layer. Yeah. So accounting software reduced hours needed for bookkeeping. Marketing software reduced hours for campaign management. But the core expertise, the judgment, the client relationship remained human. Then phase 3, AI copilots. That's where AI tools were added to help professionals work faster. A lawyer could draft faster, an accountant could reconcile faster, but the business model did not change itself. Yeah, you still sold hours or retainers. And now we are in the beginning of phase 4. You stop selling hours or retainers entirely. You price the outcome and deliver it using AI as your production engine. And it means that the margin structure of this business is completely different. A traditional accounting firm operates at 20-30% margin, yeah, and an AI native accounting service that delivers the same output with 3 people instead of 30, it operates at a completely different cost structure. And like we don't know yet like how these business models are going to work, but there is a high potential that it will disrupt the existing, say, traditional business model. Yeah. And Alstromer actually names 4 characteristics of areas that make them ideal candidates for disruption. I can actually copy all of them into our working document. Yeah. So these are all already heavily outsourced, meaning buyers are already comfortable with a third party doing the work. Yeah. All primarily involve processing large amounts of structured and semi-structured information, so the part that can be automated. All have regulatory environments requiring documented process rather than creative judgment. I mean, when the process is clear and to a certain extent repetitive. And all have high information content, but a relatively low variability in the decisions being made. Yeah, so that's our candidate for AI service companies. Yeah, there is like An example of this, pilot.com, it says it handles bookkeeping and accounting for startups. It was like an early version of this model before the current AI wave, using software plus human labor to deliver bookkeeping at a fraction of traditional price. But I think we need to check if it actually still is successful. Yeah. Because we've seen some examples of such kind of software. Yeah. This model sounds simple but has a real failure mode. The economics only work if the AI actually delivers the service at a quality that customers will pay for and trust, and do it repetitively, not just like in many industries you need 100% success rate, not 99.999%, but 100. Yeah. In some it might be 99, for some 90 is okay. Yeah, and so it depends. And we know that early AI companies, they struggled with the last mile of quality. Yeah. Like the business model is not going to work if you quietly hire humans to fix AI errors, which we've seen quite a lot happening for many companies that pretended to be 100% AI and run by AI. Yeah. So because this just recreates the old cost structure and extra steps. Yeah. So we'll see. And like you can ask yourself a question: what is the equivalent in the industry, like the equivalent category? Yeah, but this is very interesting. Then another area that is software for agents. This is also quite an exciting stuff. Yeah, by Arvan Epstein, also YC partner. Again, a quote from him: "The next trillion users of the internet won't be people, they will be AI agents. Agents are already browsing the web, doing research, making purchases, and managing legacy CRMs. But they are doing it on top of software that was designed for humans clicking buttons in a browser, which is slow, inconsistent, and brittle. Agents need a completely different foundation: APIs, MCPs, and CLIs." Yeah, sounds like, yeah, I agree. That is like completely true. And I'd say like the deep idea is that this is a replay of a mobile transition. When smartphones arrived, every web product had to be rebuilt for a touchscreen interface or become relevant on mobile. Yeah. Companies that moved early, they captured enormous audiences. Companies that treated mobile as like a port of their desktop product, they mostly failed. The same transition is beginning with agent readiness now. Every software product will eventually need an agent native interface, and the ones that build it first, I think, will gain distribution advantages that compound, my friends. What like this means for real business right now. And it is not just about building new agent native software. Yeah, don't get it wrong. It is about two things, and I'll just copy them into our document so you can see it right here. If you are building any software product today, you need like to think about agent accessibility, yeah, or otherwise you are just building technical debt. An MCP and proper API documentation, it should be like the starting point of your roadmap. Yeah, no, or it's not going to work. And then consulting and implementation opportunity. Yeah, there is work that needs to happen across thousands of existing software companies to add MCP layers and proper API documentation. Very few people know how to do this yet, and this is like near-term service business. So another great opportunity. Moving on. The knowledge problem inside companies. Like, I probably even... I'm going to put it here. Oops. Yeah.
Hi there. How can I help you today?
This is like for...
Take your time.
This is a summary of 2 YC requests, company brain, and the AI operating system for...
I'm not sure what you mean. Could you tell me more about the AI operating system you're asking about?
For companies. Yeah.
I'm just gathering the details and we'll share them.
This is like, this part is a mix of these 2 requests. And again, starting with a quote. We can say that this quote might be one of the
key ideas behind
most important sentences in the entire document. So, the biggest blocker to AI automation of companies is no longer the models. They just got so good so quickly. Now, the blocker is the domain knowledge.
Right.
And this is like fundamental different statement from like than anything YC was saying in just, I don't know, two years ago. In 2023, the conversation was about whether AI models were good enough. Now the question has been answered. They are good enough. The new question is about organizational readiness, and that is a question almost nobody in a tech conversation is focusing on yet, except YC. And yeah.
You're right. YC is spotlighting this shift.
Like,
they're highlighting that the real challenge now is
the philosophical foundation. Yeah. Tacit versus explicit knowledge. Like, the distinction comes from philosopher Michael Polanyi, who coined the phrase, "We can know more than we can tell."
That's right. Polanyi highlighted how much of what we know.
This is also important. I'm just going to
take all the time you need.
Yeah, so we have explicit knowledge, documented, writable, transferable, manuals, pricing rules, process documents. And we have tacit knowledge, like habits, intuitions, relationships. How your best customer service rep knows when to escalate a ticket without being told. How your most experienced sales rep knows which objections are real and which are deflections. This is something like companies run on tacit knowledge, and it has never needed to be made explicit because humans are quite good transmitting it informally. Yeah. And AI agents, they can't absorb tacit knowledge. They can only work from explicit instructions, data, and documented processes. The implication: before you can automate a function with AI, you have to do the hard organizational work of making your tacit knowledge explicit.
Right. You need to transform.
Yeah, this is like very important thing. And the bottleneck is not a software problem. No product can solve it for you.
That's true. It requires internal effort to capture and structure that knowledge before AI
Like,
can
you can say, like, I don't know, 3 out of 4 organizations say knowledge management is important for their corporate strategy, and it's kind of obvious. Yeah. and only 25% of companies have a company-wide approach to knowledge management now. Not nice.
It's definitely an area with lots of room for improvement, but recognizing it is a strong first step.
And like, what's next? Even after you document the knowledge, you need a layer that makes the entire company continuously observable by an AI system. Every meeting recorded, every ticket tracked, every customer interaction captured. Like, you probably seen some factories in India that like produce fabrics, or they produce something out of fabric like t-shirts, and they have cameras, they have various sensors that capture what they do, how they work, and this is probably will be used by artificial intelligence in the future, maybe by robots. Yeah, this is an example of where you make some sort of
Exactly, that's a real world
tacit
example.
knowledge explicit. Yeah. And
I'm here whenever you want to continue or need more info.
yeah, so like this is very important, like get everything recorded, tracked and captured, and it's turning a company from an open loop into closed loop. Open loop, you make a decision and maybe check the results weeks later. Closed loop, the system monitors what is happening, compares it to what should be happening and adjusts. And teams that implement this kind of observability have have been cutting sprint time in half and shipped twice as much. So this is a very, very interesting thing. If you like really take knowledge seriously and collect it and review it, it really can deliver great results for your business team. Okay, and let's move on like to the actionable dimension. Yeah. The full OIC version of a company brain is a funded startup building a product. But the underlying practice, documenting and structuring your operational knowledge, is something any business can start doing right now without any new product. So it almost doesn't matter what kind of business you have now, you can start doing this kind of stuff, build up your knowledge, transfer it to AI, and at some point you will start making automations, automating some processes and cutting costs, or making more revenue, I don't know. Yeah, like we can even do a very simple framework. Yeah, identify 3-5 processes in your company most dependent on one specific person's knowledge. These are like very high risk for knowledge concentrations. Yeah, because if he leaves, you are in trouble. Document them not as a narrative description but as a structured decision tree. Yeah, you can see the questions. What triggers? What information is needed? What are the possible states? What does the correct response look like in each state? Yeah. And that structured documentation is like the draft material that any AI system would need to start automating the process. Yeah.
Right. Keep refining those decision trees, and you'll gradually.
Yeah, and companies that do this, they will be able to absorb agent automation quickly when we have improved like the tools and workflows and stuff like that. Companies that will not would not do this work, they will be unable to automate anything meaningful and probably will be left behind. Even small ones, even not directly related to like tech economy.
Exactly. Documenting and structuring knowledge now sets
Yeah,
you up.
basically like AI is the new electricity, but no, but because electricity transformed almost every industry 100 years ago, and AI also will transform almost any industry now. And it also required infrastructure build out before it became useful. Yeah. And those that like laid the wiring early, they captured efficiency gains early and gained competitive advantage. So something to consider, I guess. Okay, moving on, we have a few items left, and yeah, this is
I'm ready.
AI goes vertical into all industries. There are another two items.
Got it.
AI follow pesticide agriculture, AI personalized medicine. Yeah, and they are very different industries, but to us they are very similar in terms of insights. Yeah.
They both
Like we are not analyzing them for the industries, yeah, but we can use them as illustrations of a broader pattern that probably could repeat across dozens of industries, I guess. Here is the pattern. An industry with enormous economic scale that has been running on the same fundamental processes for 30 years. A set of enabling technologies that have recently become cheap enough to make AI-powered interventions viable. A cost structure where even modest improvements in efficiency or accuracy translate into massive economic value. Because like the markets are so large. And yeah, for agriculture, like global pesticide market, $130 billion by 2034. Pesticide usage doubled between 1990 and 2022, reaching 3.69 million metric tons. And
Yes, those figures show how huge the opportunity is for AI-driven efficiency.
for example,
For example,
200,000 agricultural drones are already deployed worldwide, covering 20-30 hectares per hour. Yeah, so this is like very interesting. Yeah, and
it is indeed.
yeah,
Those
and personalized medicine.
in
You
personalized
probably heard about the genome sequencing cost curve. It's been one of the most dramatic deflation stories in the history of technology. Yeah, I can again just
absolutely.
copy and paste it here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this has been the cost to sequence one human genome. Just like no comments from me. Just yeah, just look at it.
Understood.
It's crazy. It's
It really
it's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and what is the lesson for us? Because yeah, these are nice numbers, but the real insight is not about agricultural medicine. It's about a pattern like that repeats. Find an industry with enormous economic scale, where the cost of data collection and analysis has recently crossed a threshold that makes AI intervention viable, and where incumbents are slow and regulatory or capital barriers have historically protected them, and where a small improvement in precision or prediction translate into very large dollar amounts. And this pattern exists in other industries that are much more accessible to like small founders like us,
exactly. Any
for
industry
example. commercial real estate, logistics routing, insurance underwriting, industrial maintenance prediction, hospitality revenue management. Each of these, like old industries, huge market, fragmented incumbent software, data now cheap to collect, and a direct line from better prediction to better economics. And the question for you, just think, what industry do you know that is still making expensive decisions based on intuition or averaged estimates that could be made more precisely with good data and a decent model? That gap is an opportunity.
Absolutely. Identifying those gaps where data and AI can drive more precise, cost-effective decisions is a huge opportunity.
Okay, we are doing good so far, I hope. Yeah, but yeah, finishing quite soon. We just basically we have one thing left, and this is not going to be like a real proper insight, but anyway, rather interesting. Yeah, let's just have a look. This is selling to large corporations. There is like a specific entry on YC list, and
Y Combinator has a selling to large companies guide that covers long sales cycles, building trust, and understanding procurement hurdles. It emphasizes pilot projects, executive champions, and patience in navigating big organizations.
this sounds nice at first. Yeah, but
It's a lot to digest.
and
but you
exciting, like, yeah, so they are saying we should go and sell to the largest corps in the world. Nice, I'm gonna do it. But realistically, I think the point is that they themselves likely first found the way to sell to large corporations. They probably built like their network or something like that. Yeah, and like they have some unfair advantages to do that. And if you don't have them, maybe it's not for you anyway. Yeah. But anyway, like what they are claiming.
large corporations often have a staff.
Yeah, they like not what they are claiming, but what we can learn from it anyway. Yeah. They have like specific claims. 3 claims. First, the biggest companies in the world are now actively looking for AI solutions and willing to talk to early stage teams. Second, small teams can now build products with enough depth to be useful to large organizations in months rather than years. Large company leaders understand the stakes of not adapting and are therefore more willing to take vendor risk than historically. Well, that is interesting. So there are some changes in the market, and we might be using these changes to our advantage. And like claim 2, I'd say it's very realistic one, because build time for meaningful software, it has genuinely compressed, like really, as we talked about Cursor. And basically this is the like this is a very specific thing for real business. Yeah, that
It is.
your ability to respond to a large customer's feedback quickly. Large companies, they have historically been slow to adapt early stage vendors because they could not keep up with changing requirements. So because they were small, and yeah, it was kind of difficult. But if you can respond to feedback in days rather than months, or in months rather than years, then it might be an opportunity for you. Of course, if you have an entry strategy to those companies. Yeah, but talking about like companies actively seeking AI solutions and understanding the stakes, to me this sounds like genuinely just blah blah blah. Like it's true for some companies, maybe close to YC Combinator, but it's not. I don't see it as a general trend at all. Like I've checked a few, say, I've made a small research and I don't see that it sounds like true. Yeah. So for you, it means that there is a window of enterprise receptivity, and but it is narrow. Yeah, because as I said, yes, this ability to adapt quickly may be valuable, but not all the companies are actively seeking to do something with AI. So all these things applies more strongly to problems where the buyer genuinely believes they will be left behind if they do not adopt AI quickly. The problem is specific enough that no existing vendor has a ready answer for this large corp. Yeah, outside that intersection, just normal enterprise rules still apply. And yeah, so for real business, the actionable version of this entry is a bit boring, unfortunately. You can go identify one specific operational problem inside a large organization in your industry where the organization is genuinely stuck, where no existing software is solving it well, and where AI can reduce the decision time or error rate significantly. Build the smallest possible thing that solves exactly that problem and find one person inside one large organization who has authority over that problem and would benefit from solving it. It's not my thought, it's what AI gave me. To me it sounds a bit like, yeah, so basically it can be tied to any startup. So this YC request is well, I'm not sure if it's relevant to real businesses at all. Yeah, but it's for you to decide. You can write in the comment what you think, because to me it's like so. Yeah. Okay. The meta lesson. We've talked about eight requests from YC Combinator. Here they are, you can see them. We didn't talk like exactly about each of them one by one, rather than the main insights we got from those requests and how they can be applied to real business. And like, what is the picture that you can see from it? Yeah, I'd say AI moved from being a technology like people were adding to business, being the infrastructure the new businesses should be built on. And this is the opportunity for real business, like the ones that need revenue and cannot count on investment rounds. Yeah, but you should not be building AI infrastructure itself. Yeah, it is in deeply applying AI in a specific service category or industry where you have deep domain knowledge or expertise, and where the incumbents are slow, I don't know, some regulatory things have been present, and where the new cost structure may change the business model dramatically. Yeah, so in this case, there is a potential for something new. And YC startup request, it has changed from asking who will build AI tools just 2 years ago to asking who will rebuild the entire industries in 2026 and who will rebuild them on top of AI. And the answer to that second question is not necessarily like $1 billion funded startup. Yeah, it can be a 25 person company, but it's important that it has a deep expertise in one vertical and it moves faster than incumbents, even if it has less resources but has more focus. Yeah. So
Right. The key is leveraging AI in a niche where you've had expertise and can outpace.
yeah, I'm actually gonna just put this in our last tab.
Sounds good. Let me know if
So
you need
this
anything else.
is important thing for you to like take out of it and think about it, and maybe it will lead you to a new idea discovery and building something, a new company, or maybe rebuilding your business. Well, anyway, I hope this
I hope it gives you.
I hope this video was valuable to you, helpful to you, and you've seen some insights. Yeah, thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, hit like button, support it if you liked it. If you didn't like, write a comment anyway with your opinion. Yeah, thank you and have a nice day.